NYYST. This is New York. Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York. Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York. Yankee sports talk, homie, New York. Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back. This is episode 264 of the NYYST podcast presented by NYynewsTV. I'm your host, Christian. As always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And it's SGR.
What up?
What up, fellas?
Listen, before we do any bullshit, we haven't said this enough in the last few weeks. Please, if you're watching us right now, or if you're listening and you're a new listener, new follower on YouTube, please head over to Apple Podcasts. If that's where you listen to podcasts, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Okay. We need them. Okay. I think Apple Podcasts made it a little more difficult to find where to leave a review. So reviews on all shows have been down, like the amount of them. We need to get them back up.
It's suppression.
Is it? Are we shadow banned?
We might be.
Wow.
Did you say the V word on the show last week?
I might have. I think I said vac.
Oh, boy.
So how you feeling, bro? You're fucked up. You're all fucked up. Christian's not going to be with us all show.
Yeah. I'm dealing with my third sinus infection since Christmas. So this is, it's not fun. I feel a little bit better today. We were recording the show yesterday. Would not have popped on and all, but I got streaks to continue here, and I also wanted to
hold on. You texted this, and I didn't want to be an asshole before.
No, okay.
Because you're like, I got to keep my Cal Ripken Jr. You've missed shows, like you've missed.
Yeah, we've
shows.
definitely done shows.
Do you think I was the only one for the longest time that didn't miss a show until I went on vacation a couple years ago?
And then you missed like 10 of them.
Once you miss one, that's it. Once you miss one, you can miss 100.
I'm pretty sure that I've missed one show in the entire 264 episode history of this podcast.
I think you're right. I think it's been one or possibly two.
I'm pretty sure it's one. And it's because you and I was even trying to get on the show, but you were like, no,
I told you to enjoy your time with your wife.
And I didn't want to. I wanted to do the show instead.
Right.
Okay. Because those are my top priority, bro.
This was in your fucking vows when you got married. Yankees. No, Yankees in general. Anything Yankees, and then my wife. And then if I have kids, then the kids go before the wife. So it's Yankees, kids, wife.
Yankees, kids, wife. But, yeah, plus I also wanted to just say thank you. I wanted to say this personally, say thank you to all the new fans, all the new followers, all the new listeners. When we debuted on NYYNewsTV last week, and to be honest with you, I didn't think the show, look, this is what's weird about doing this show, is sometimes I'll sit there recording, and we'll be sitting there recording, and I'm like, I don't think that was that really good of a show. Like, I just wasn't feeling it when we were recording. And then I'll sit there and I'll listen to it, and I'll be like, oh, the show is actually pretty good. And that's how I felt last week. And the feedback we got, was very, I can't think of the word right now. I'm all hopped up on shit.
Apropos.
Yeah, it was very, there you
Next
go.
question.
You French.
I don't think apropos is the word. But
yeah, I don't think that was right. I wasn't even really listening.
You want to know what it is about us? Because all the anyone watching us who hasn't watched or listened to the show from the beginning, look, we're not just Yankees. Like we don't go into deep conversations about much else than the Yankees, but like we've always said, this is like, we're going to bullshit too. So if you don't like a show that bullshits and stuff, like we're always going to do that. We're always going to open shows with a little fluff unless there's a crazy amount of things to get to. But with us, we don't have a lot of like rich content to talk about right now. So sometimes it feels like too much fluff. But I think we mixed it in pretty good, given the fact that we just really don't have much to go off of right now.
Dude,
Well,
they're in a lockout right now. We got to find things to talk about outside of baseball. There is no baseball right now.
Well, I'm going to leave the show up to you guys this week, but there, as we before we came on here, the Yankees have announced, or the reports are that they are going to hire the first female manager in the organization's history. Rachel Balkovic is going to take over as the Tampa Tarpons manager. I'm sure you guys will have.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck did you used to say? Tarpy tutus?
Tarpy tutu.
Yes, it's Tarpy tutu.
It's Tarpy tutu. Stephen Tarpley tutu.
Jonathan Tarpley.
Oh, Jonathan?
no, it's Steve. I used to call him Jonathan.
Oh,
I called him Jonathan back.
one of us did. Tarpy tutus. Took off.
I'm sure you guys will touch on that. I'm sure you guys will touch on how embarrassed the Yankees are that stone cold Steve Cohen, as the Daily News called him, stole Eric Chavez away from the Yankees. Oh, so scared.
What'd you call him, Chavez? You're so white, dude.
I'm white, dude. I'm a white half Italian from New Jersey. Okay?
It's fucking Chavez. In my house, we say Chavez.
Okay, you go Chavez. You disrespect Chavez, you go to jail.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Those are like the two things we're gonna fucking talk about today. Seriously.
We were gonna do trivia this week, but because I wasn't feeling well, I never got around to do it.
And he didn't have enough time to collude with Ryan SGR to tell him all the answers so that I would lose.
Yeah, first of all,
because we all know that fucking happens.
First of all, you jerk off. This book is available on Amazon for $10, asshole. So you could fucking get all the answers yourself.
Already did.
Yeah, I know you did. So what I was going to say is, during the course of this week, I'll put together the test, but maybe you two could figure out what you're going to bet on. Maybe do a little double or nothing, since you welched on your last bet.
I didn't welch. No one fucking dyed my hair.
So do it, come up with something, double or nothing, or, next show, shave half your fucking hair and make a new bet,
Okay. Deal.
So what do you, I'll figure it out. You guys discuss it. You let me know how you want. You want to do 20 questions. You want to do a point system, whatever you want to do. And we'll do that next week. Because again, I seriously doubt we'll have anything really, exciting to talk about as we sit down and do a show next week,
Yeah. Oh, sure.
And before I get out of here, we got to mention that, another thing that came out right before we came on record is Bob Saget died.
Fucking dead, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean, we got to mention that. I mean, America's dad, Bob Saget.
Okay. All right. It was a good TV show. I did like Step by Step a little bit more. Okay. R.I.P.
Though for any new viewers and listeners, that's a reference to Mike Francesa's tweets every time someone dies. He's always got a backhand, backhand compliment.
Very insensitive.
And then
rest in peace tweets. Yeah, he kind of gets a dig in before he pays his
respects.
Respects.
I think it was so funny, dude, because when he did the Horace Clarke tweet, did he really know what he was doing?
Which one was that?
Well, that was the one that set all this off.
Yeah, but what was it?
When Horace Clarke died, he said something to the effect of, Horace
Not
Clarke,
even close to being that good of a pitcher.
No, Horace
said,
Clarke was an out.
Whatever.
You have it?
I do, but it's my computer's taking
just
a quick second to load.
Because Horace Clarke was the symbol of the Yankees' fall from grace post 1964. He was mediocre, just like the Bombers 65 to 74. R.I.P.
He was not a good pitcher. He was not a good outfielder.
He was the symbol of the Yankees fall from grace, I guess. He was mediocre. Come on, don't say the word mediocre in your condolences.
It's but then there was somebody
coffin.
But then there was somebody else that died right after that, and he doubled down on the back.
It was Seaver.
It wasn't Tom Seaver, was it?
Yeah, it was. Seaver.
It might. It was he has to.
No, but Seaver was a good. Seaver's was good, I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
He goes. But this one was. But he starts it with the dig.
Sandy Koufax is the most dominant pitcher I've ever seen. But the most consistent and professional was Tom Seaver, an amazing performer. R.I.P.
all ending with R.I.P. in
That's great.
bold caps.
He's always got to like undermine the person who died first.
Yeah.
But growing. I don't know. Did you guys? You're a little bit. Ryan's a lot younger, and Chris is a little bit younger. Did you guys grow up watching Full House?
Yeah, I fucking hated that show.
I would go home. I would come home from school and put that on every day. I guess it was reruns, but it was always on at like 3 or 4 o'clock.
It was in syndication when you were.
It was Fresh Prince followed by Full House on TBS.
But, dude, like he was the most clean cut guy in the world. And then like I remember like in 1995 or what it was.
That was his shtick.
He did that cameo.
The cameo, Half Baked. You ever suck dick
like,
for coke?
It's like, what the fuck? Danny Tanner sucks dick for coke?
Well, really, what happened was like he was like, okay, I got typecasted as fucking as like some innocent jerk off
Danny
dad.
Tanner.
And then it was like, I need to like break into the world and let them know as a comedian how fucked up I am. How can I do this? And that was the best way, really. And then after that, it was like, even if he wasn't funny, people just wanted to tune into him because they wanted to hear how fucked up Danny Tanner was going to be. And
you got to think, he was doing stand up too. Like he was probably getting, the crowd was probably at least half was Full House fans. So they were probably taking their families to his stand up shows.
Well, yeah. And his
act was not Danny Tanner.
His best shit that he put together was when he would do the songs. Danny Tanner isn't gay, right? That was one of the.
Oh yeah.
Those songs were great, but fucking Bob Saget, man. I mean, no one knows what happened. Obviously, it was something that no one was expecting, but who knows?
I heard Ron DeSantis gave him COVID.
That's what it's already political. It's already gotten political because he just toured in Florida. So of course, that's the narrative right now. But anyone honestly, anyone who thinks that can
Doctor, go vouch yourself.
Doctor, go vouch yourself.
My favorite Bob Saget though. I don't know if you guys watched Entourage when he played a coked up, poor loving version of himself on that show.
That was great.
Yeah.
No,
but was he a neighbor? Was he someone's neighbor? Was he Eric E's neighbor or something? You come to the house or something.
Yeah, Vince.
Yeah.
The sad part of Saget is that ever since he broke through that way and became like the crude asshole and, the opposite of what he portrayed for so many years, people forget like he's also a husband, a father. Like he wasn't like just some like immediately everyone just thought drug overdose. But like who knows if that's just like his fucking, character at this point. Who knows? So don't just assume.
I mean, the guy passed away. Rest in peace to Bob Saget. It was just sad news.
He was never the funniest on Full House, but
he was never the cutest either. That was John Stamos.
I did always like Uncle Joey's humor. Okay,
but someone else too. Fucking the legend, Betty White. Betty White has passed since our last show.
Okay, she wasn't even the best Golden Girl. Okay,
she didn't even make it to 100. Okay, so she died at 99. And
but do you see how fucked up everybody is? But because of the amount of leap years she's lived through, that she technically is
107 days.
Okay, so we're gonna get.
And anyway, she was only a few weeks away. Anyway, so she's in her 99th year of life.
I mean, we were.
It's 100. She's 100. It should say she lived till 100 on her fucking tombstone.
We're rounding up, like we're giving Betty White credit for it. You don't need to come up with all this fucking convoluted bullshit.
Right.
Like,
but I think that's pretty interesting though.
She lived through 17 leap years.
And she lived through every single Yankee World Series.
Babe Ruth home run or something. I don't fucking know. Something
real quick,
crazy.
Christian, before you go.
Okay.
I saw this. What's the douchebag's name? The quarterback for the Patriots right now?
Mac Jones.
No, that wasn't it.
That's who it is.
No. I think it was.
Fuck, you ask us.
Oh, every year. Hold on. Every year. I'm sorry. This is off topic, but it's just a weird thing that people have been bringing up. Every year, the Braves have won the World Series. A college football team. I got to pull it up later if anyone fucking cares. The last name has been Nix, the quarterback. Did you hear that?
No.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Every year, the Braves.
All right.
have won
In
the World Series.
2021, the Braves. This is a tweet from it's called @WarBloggle. In 2021, the Braves won the World Series. Auburn's starting quarterback's name, Bo Nix. So
1995.
In 1995, the Braves won Auburn's. Oh yes, that's all Auburn.
Yeah, it's
in
all
1995, the Braves won the World Series. Auburn's starting quarterback's name, Pat Nix. In 1957, the Braves won the World Series. Auburn's starting quarterback's name, Lloyd Nix.
How fucking crazy is that? So I was thinking when I said Betty White lived through all the Yankee World Series, I was thinking of like the Connecticut stuff. Well, not Connecticut, Kentucky. Every year they won the
but that
right
basketball.
But that
I don't. Yeah,
the Yankees suck now, so that hasn't happened.
So is Kentucky.
Yeah.
Or the Yankees were on some streak with only winning with Democratic presidents in the White House or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's still going. That's why we're hopeful. That was our only silver lining when we said
that's right.
Half dead Joe is in office.
Oh my god.
Are you sure it's not half alive?
No,
going glass.
Definitely. No, I'm not going to be glass half full on this. No. No, not at all.
All right, so I'm going to turn the show over to these two jerk-offs here today. Hopefully you don't sink the ship. All right, I want to, we got to do a show next week. But I did want to hop on, talk to you guys for a couple minutes, and say thank you to all the new fans, all the new followers, and hopefully everybody will be back to 100% next week. We'll do a fun trivia show, and that'll be that. So, enjoy episode 264 with SGR and Chris, and I'll talk to you guys later. Boys, have a great show.
Feel better.
I take it easy, man. Feel better.
All right, see you.
All right. So there's really not much to discuss, and it's kind of like when we're in school and there's a substitute, and you're just like, yeah, we're not gonna even fucking do anything. Like we should just end the show. I think there's not even much.
I'm down.
Like this is gonna be a quicker show. Obviously, it's just two of us. There's nothing to fucking talk about other than this. Other than the coaching debacles that we've seen. First is Eric
Yankees
Chavez.
Got to find a replacement. Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. When you were the one who texted it, right? You said you said that he had went to the Mets, and it hit me like a day later. I'm like, wasn't he supposed to be the Yankees assistant hitting coach? And I was like, maybe that was just like something that was close to happening. Because I got to be honest with you, with all the shit going on with me right now, like worrying about who the fucking Yankees are hiring as an assistant.
Your kid ate a rock the other day.
My fucking 2-year-old had put a stone in her mouth, and I yelled at her. I probably shouldn't have yelled to spit it out. And she hates my guts, like everyone knows. So she did the opposite. I should have told her to swallow it, and she would have spit it out probably, but she swallowed it, and then I had to go through a shit, dude. It was probably the worst. If you want to lose weight, it's probably pretty good because I feel like I didn't eat for 2 days after that. But
that's disgusting.
I got a lot going on. I don't care who's the assistant to the assistant fucking hitting coach. But I gotta say, Eric Chavez, when I heard that name in the beginning, when it all hit me, like, yeah, obviously he was the fucking assistant hitting coach. I think he would have been good on this team.
Yeah.
I think he was he would have been a good fit.
He was a big name too when he was playing. I was surprised though. I looked into him a little bit after all this news broke. Never made an All-Star game. Eric Chavez,
what?
one of the All-Star snubs. It was like a list of top 20 most
Yankee,
snubbed.
Right?
Remember you remember that GIF that went viral of him? He's throwing the ball back to the pitcher, but the pitcher's not looking, and he just plumps him in the head.
Yeah.
So, Yankees got to find someone to replace him, dude.
I mean,
I don't know what they're going to do.
You can look at it two ways. It's like, okay, he's a fucking, even if you like him or thought he was going to be good here, he's the assistant hitting coach. Like, obviously the Yankees didn't think of him, highly enough to make him the actual hitting coach. He was the assistant,
which was the only reason he was able to then take that hitting coach job for the Mets, because that was technically a promotion, and that's in some sort of MLB rule in the rules where you could take a promotion. You just can't take the same job offer when you're under contract. So
How much of this do you think is like, do you think Steve Cohen is like well versed in like the fucking mafia and like how to like gain fucking power and like get people to respect you, and he's just like, fuck Brian Cashman, fuck Hal Steinbrenner, even if it's someone he probably doesn't even know, he probably couldn't tell you one fucking thing about Eric Chavez.
No.
He was just saw the fucking opportunity and was like, you know what, let's hire him and just dig it to the Yankees at this point.
I think the Mets have, even before Steve Cohen, have operated with that mentality in a lot of ways. There's a decent amount of examples. I mean, it's more like a bias.
But the problem was they didn't have an owner that had fuck money like this.
Right. And now they got see, like their digs weren't with their wallets. Their digs were like not calling back when the Yankees asked about Jay Bruce. Do you remember that a few years ago? He was on the Mets. The Yankees called them. Mets didn't call back. You look at the players that the Mets have signed over the years. It's a lot of former Yankees that could go down the list where the Yankees don't have a lot of former Mets. You got Robinson Cano, Curtis Granderson, Eduardo Nunez, Dylan Betances. Go on and on here, but
that's what it is.
There is a list
like,
there.
It used to just be like, yeah, we're going to take Robinson Cano back from the Mariners after he's left his prime and only does steroids now, and that's how we're going to get the Yankees. Now it's more like we're just going to buy every fucking player that could help them win a World Series, despite the fact that they're not going to buy them anyway. And we're also going to take your assistant hitting coach. Yeah,
like now they're getting into the coach's territory.
Which is kind of like, it's kind of even more powerful than signing like Max Scherzer, because it's like, then it just becomes like, fuck you. Like you're going after my assistant hitting coach.
Right.
Like,
but see, I believe that the Mets did have, I don't know if they had to, but I'm pretty sure they did reach out to the Yankees and ask permission to interview Chavez.
Yes.
I think that at least.
Yeah, they had some respect.
But they did take away a guy that was ready to go for the New York Yankees, and now he is had a better position for the Mets. So good for Chavez, whatever.
Now you saw, and who knows if this is speculation, maybe they talked about it in the articles that you read. I don't know if it's speculation or actual names that are being dropped of his replacement right now.
Well, there was one actual name that I saw that is kind of like, which I was surprised by to see this name, that he's being rumored to maybe take that spot as the assistant hitting coach. Now the Yankees, the rumor is that they are going to look to replace Chavez with another former player. And this name, the first one I've seen, was Mark Trumbo.
Mark Trumbo.
Remember him?
From the Angels?
You remember Mark Trumbo? Angels, Orioles for a bit.
Yeah. The Orioles. Yeah.
They're looking at Trumbo, but I looked at Trumbo's numbers. They weren't.
He was
really
like a wannabe Jim Thome, I feel like.
Ooh, very good. He kind of resembles Thome a bit too. Very good. That's a good one. A wannabe Thome.
Yeah, wannabe Hall of Famer. That's a weird name. But before we keep going on this list, it's like, I mean, again, before doing this show, I was always a diehard Yankee fan, but I never cared about the bullshit news. Like all I cared about was what team was being put on the field, who the manager was, what trades were going to happen, whatever. I never really cared much about the hiring process of the fucking coaching staff, to be honest. I just, up until this like last regime, I don't remember like assistant hitting coach, fucking triple assistant hitting coach. I just remember having a hitting coach. And like I feel like that's what, and maybe that's just the new way of baseball. Maybe it's the new way of baseball though. I don't know.
It is. They're trying to make these staffs a bit larger, because I mean, if you think about it, you have one hitting coach for all of those guys, for 20 guys ultimately that are going through in and out of the process. Yeah. I mean, 13 staple guys, but you'll have, a big, chunk of players that you're going to have to fucking coach.
My point of bringing that up is, how expendable is the assistant hitting coach? Like, how expendable is that role? Is it just like we just don't know enough about it to know the responsibilities day to day? does he like get the hitting coach fucking coffee in the morning? Is it that type of assistant?
He's not the assistant to the hitting coach. It was him and this guy, Casey Dykes, I think was the other guy that was.
Did you say Dyke?
Yeah. They were going to be the joint hitting coaches. Oh wait, serving under new hitting coach Dylan Lawson. Yes, that's right. So yeah, there's a main one and then two little guys underneath. Yeah, give me some coffee, Chavez.
So I guess the main point I'm trying to make is how much credibility does the assistant hitting coach have to have, and how easy is it to just replace him? Of like, does it really matter who the Yankees hire as an assistant hitting coach? I guess is what I'm trying to ask. Probably a little, but like at the end of the day,
sway a few needles.
At the end of the day, the last hitting coach kind of, Tim's gets a bad rap, but if you really go back the years he was here, up until the last year or so, I'd say from 2019 back to when he started, the Yankees offense was actually in the top handful of teams with producing runs, and their batting average was never as bad as it was this past year. I mean, how many guys hit over 250 this past year? It was embarrassing.
Yeah, all throughout baseball, but yeah, for the Yankees, it was gross.
And but sometimes just guys on coaching staffs, they just expire. Like their time expires, and you need to move on.
Right.
I think there was no other choice at that point, and who knows? I mean, hopefully this new guy can turn shit around and find things that Tim's couldn't. That I just feel like Tim's failed at stopping the bleeding. So when he had guys producing on the field, it's easy to coach anyone who's producing well on the field. I mean, and you can take credit for it too. That's fine. Your job starts when you hit adversity in anything you do, right? And you got to learn how to stop the bleeding, to turn it around and find ways to get your guys to start producing again. I feel like Tim's wasn't the greatest at that, and even when he was, it was too long of a turnaround time. Like, you need to be able to find things. I can sit home, and I was never a great hitter, but I was always good with mechanics in anything baseball related, even if I couldn't replicate the mechanic. But I just remember watching guys like Frazier's a great example with the leg kick and like all his timing. And I said it over and over every game for like 6 months into the new season. And then finally Tim says something about it and changes it. And I'm like, why did it fucking take this long?
Right.
There's a lot of things like that, which is what I give Matt Blake a lot of credit for, because I feel like even when pitchers were kind of going off the rails a little bit, he did a great job of honing it back in and putting them back on track.
Yeah, so we'll see what the Yankees do. I mean, I do kind of have like I looked up some players from old a bit that were kind of in that same timeline as Eric Chavez, because the rumors are that, they're going to bring a player to come in and get this job. So I looked up some rosters, a few names. You want to kind of go over some names, see if we could find somebody.
Yeah, sure.
That could be. And then if you're listening right now, chime in the comments.
In the chat, yeah.
Add some names to it and see what we got here. But Cameron Maybin's a name that's being thrown around as a potential coach. He just retired. That could be someone that they look into.
I'm hearing the Yes Network's looking into Cameron Maybin.
Ooh, that would be nice. I would love that.
Yeah, to get him in the booth, because Michael Kay and David Cohn got the job for Sunday Night Baseball.
Right.
And they're going to need to fill some spots now. And I don't know how true of a rumor it is, how much, credibility is behind that rumor, but it's something I heard that Cameron Maybin was being looked at for that.
Maybe CC Sabathia will get a call to get some games in. He's over on the Yes Network now, so
he'd be great.
He does. I don't know if he's doing Nets games.
I don't know if he could hold off on the cursing. I think that he's too much of a liability.
Yeah, that would be Curtis Granderson, another name I'm thinking, but he just declined an offer from the Mets to be a part of their coaching staff. So I got a
great name for you.
Yeah,
Hideki Matsui.
Dude, that was the next name on my list.
I mean,
Hideki Matsui.
if you're going to talk to me about a prior player, who
Former
better?
Yankee?
A former Yankee, a lefty. Who better than Hideki Matsui? Because I even want my coaching staff to be lefty. I even want them to hit lefty. So
Okay.
at this point, I think Hideki Matsui would be a great replacement.
Matsui would be a nice one. Again, just staying in that former Yankee tale. And see, this one's kind of stupid. Paul O'Neill would be kind of cool to consider.
Yeah,
Get him on this coaching staff.
yeah,
But
I feel. Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I
don't
think
know. I don't know how-
that role's not. If he were to come into the league, I don't think he would take an assistant job.
there's certain guys that you just look at and you're just like, I don't know if he has like coaching qualities. I don't know if Paul O'Neill would be that guy, but I would take it. Again, I don't really fucking know what an assistant hitting coach does. So sounds good to me.
Here's my true pick. All right. Sorry. My pick. This is a guy that was in the league for a while. He known for, I think it was Mariners. He was really good. But I'm looking up John Olerud. He wants to do. But see, no, again, I'm not considering an assistant hitting coach. It is different. He wouldn't.
You're right. You're kind of breaking up
hitting
Wi-Fi.
coach.
I think your Wi-Fi is breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you kicked off. Who'd you say? Ibanez?
No, I said John Olerud.
Ooh, John Olerud. Would he wear the helmet still?
Probably, yeah, it'd be a
Even in the
requirement.
dugout.
But again, though, I kind of made this list with I didn't take into consideration. I knew it was an assistant hitting coach job, but there is having that word assistant in the title is going to make some like established guys that have had a coaching history, where John Olerud has been a coach in this league before, a bit hesitant to take that job. So they are going to have to get a really fresh name in there, maybe someone more recent.
I was just
thinking
I was just thinking of someone, and now I can't fucking.
You know, I wouldn't mind too. I got on this list here is good old Nick Markakis, if they want to go the player route.
Oh, you know who I was thinking? I don't know why I'm just all about Japanese baseball players right now, but what about Ichiro?
That would be a good one.
Ichiro's mechanics were so fucking unorthodox. We'd have everyone looking like Japanese hitters.
He could be, he could be a tough one where maybe he'd have a touch time coaching just because he made it look so easy. Where
it was effortless.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that one could be tough. They could go. I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind maybe looking into Adrian Beltre, see what he's up to right now if he's interested in coaching, because Beltre would be an awesome presence to have on this staff.
What about Beltran?
Carlos Beltran. You know, that was a name RB Beltran actually retweeted. Said now the Yankees have to go out and bring in Carlos Beltran.
Yeah, what about Beltran? I mean, and then I saw someone else tweet this, like, Yankee fans are fucking up in arms about Carlos Correa, you know, because he cheated, but then they're all screaming to hire Carlos Beltran.
Right.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you had another name that you said to me, though, that I thought was pretty realistic. I don't know the relationship between him and the current team right now. I know he said some controversial things, I feel like, a year ago. But you said Mark Teixeira.
Well, I think that was someone commented that on our one of our posts.
But you texted it to.
I think it might have been Kabani. Maybe. Yeah, that would be a good one. That would be a good one, a switch hitter too. So that would be someone, but I don't know. His numbers offensively weren't the greatest, but I think he would be a good coach.
You know why I like Chavez? Because he was never like too elite. He, like you said, he never even made an all-star game, but you know he has the pure fundamentals down of the game.
Right.
He seems like a guy who's fit to be a coach. So
Jerry Hairston, another name I was thinking.
Nah, too short.
Doug Mankiewicz.
Yeah. Former Red Sox. Probably fucking
Eric
corrupt.
Hinsky.
Your name was a lot of former Red Sox.
Yeah, hey. Pick from the fucking fruits.
Yeah.
But
So
I don't know. It's just a little list, but it's really, it's just
now
they're going to
can
go
can
probably
the
MLB player.
Yankees call up the Mets and steal Buck Showalter to be demoted as
No,
the
won't work.
assistant hitting coach?
Will not work.
I don't know.
Can't take the demotion. But if I were to come back, the first thing I'd do is I would fix that leg kick. All right, Gary Sanchez, you can't be kicking that leg like that so much. He's got to keep that leg planted. All right, when you plant the ball, you're going to be planting seeds in the crowd there. I once planted a rose bush without even any water.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So I guess at the end of the day, the main takeaway from this story is not that the Yankees are, in fucking deep shit now because they don't have an assistant hitting coach. The takeaway, I guess there's two takeaways. One is that Steve Cohen's going to do anything in his power to just fuck the Yankees, even if it's as arbitrary as an assistant hitting coach. And the other bigger takeaway is that this team can't even figure out a coaching staff at this point. I mean, I know it's really not their fault, but at the end of the day, it's just it just gives you a bad feeling at this point because we're waiting for them to build a World Series caliber team for the last handful of years. And it's like the only solid thing we've gotten so far before this lockout was that we had a coaching staff in place. And now, not even that. And now not even that anymore. So that's my biggest
it's frustrating.
Takeaway.
It's frustrating. I think my biggest takeaway is the fact that we're fucking talking about an assistant hitting coach right now. The fact that that's all we have to talk about.
Yeah, so and look, we're gonna.
There's nothing going on.
We have a couple more topics. We're not gonna make this a long show. Before we get into the next topic, we didn't mention this at the beginning of the show. This show, as of right now, is only sponsored by our patrons on patreon.com/NYYST. Sign up is as low as $5. You can, what do they call it? Pledge. You can pledge as much as you want, but as low as $5, help support the show. You get bonus content from us. And we're going to be pumping out a lot, especially when the season starts.
Did you post that little Cashman blurb that he left for us?
Yes, I did. Yeah. We got a lot of good SGR impressions that are
I meant to talk to you about that.
So if you want some extra
we
content,
got to talk about that.
Yeah, we definitely do. But if you want some extra content throughout the season and you'd like our show, head over to patreon.com/NYYST. And again, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, even if you fucking don't, just take anyone that has an iPhone, just fucking go on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating and review.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it, man.
Just pump it up. Just pump the show up. And last thing before we get into the next segment, for NYYNewsTV, I am handling the audio for all the podcasts. Talk to Pete, and the audio for all the other shows. We're an established show for the last 5 years, audio wise. So for us, it's just the same stream. But for the other shows, Twin Bill, Chef Talk, Designated Spitters, Hola, ¿cómo está? And I'm missing one. And Nights at the Round Table, that's once a month.
Right.
Those starting February will all be kicking off also on audio. And every platform you can think of, we're everywhere too. So if you listen to Spotify, you could always listen to us there if you don't want to look at my.
And I gotta say, yeah, I gotta say, man, the first week of NYY News, bro, that was like pretty fucking awesome. Dude.
Listen,
to have all that content. If you are a true Yankee fan, this is the place to be, especially honestly, once the season gets rolling. Because Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when the season's flowing, we're flowing. The juices are going, we're flowing.
I say this to
we're
Christian.
In the off season and it feels this good. Come on.
Yeah. I say this to Christian all the time. This show does best. We get the most downloads, the most engagement when either the Yankees are, there's some that are, like when the season starts, everyone's excited. No one's down on the team yet. Everyone's excited just to watch baseball. So there's always
optimism.
But once the season gets going, there's only two ways the show gets the peak of the downloads. and engagement, and that's either when the Yankees are playing really, really good,
Yeah,
or when they're
you're
playing
right.
fucking terrible. Those are the only.
Yeah,
those
because
are
we
the
had
two
one of our
times
highest viewed episode was like when we were just trashing them.
trashing them.
They were tanking. Yeah.
So those are the two times. So to feel this good, to feel this optimistic in the off season, in the middle of a lockout where there's nothing to fucking talk about, I just listen. Anyone watching right now who kind of likes these shows and all the podcasts that are out on NYY News TV, please, I just promise me you'll stick around until the season.
I'm working on a new impression here. You want to try to get?
Yeah, okay. So I was
Mitch
at
McConnell,
the Speaker of the House.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, so
right away.
I would like to throw my name into the Yankees assistant hitting coach pile,
That's
and I
good.
would really,
You need
I would
glasses.
really,
I wish I had my glass on.
I would really like to teach Gleyber Torres how to shimmy those hips, because he has really nice hips.
That's good. That's a good one.
That's all I listen. If you're watching, that's all I got. Okay,
that's what he
I got the
brings, but it's
occasional
a
impression,
lot. And
but other than that,
yeah.
I got bad anxiety in here, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not good at talking unless I'm doing it in person.
That's it. So yeah, I mean, that's the bookkeeping, I guess, as Christian would say. To get that out of the way, and yeah, I mean, like I said, it's going to be a shorter show. The other topic we have to talk about is Rachel Balkovec.
Yes,
I guess that's how you fucking say it. I don't know.
Well, let's give her some.
Yeah, Balkovec. I'm not gonna go out of my way to learn her name just because she's a woman. I'm gonna treat her just like any other fucking coach that I don't know how to pronounce their name. It's Balkovec, and she was promoted to the Tampa Tarpons manager.
Right.
And
well,
again,
look, if you're going by having a baseball name, she has one. You can't spell Balkovec without balk.
Without balk, I agree.
So there is some baseball. There is some baseball in there.
Listen, this is like always the touchy subject because she's a fucking woman, and she was the first hitting coach, right, in all of baseball ever.
Yes.
And here's what I say to that. Hear me out. I don't give a fuck if you got a 12-inch dick. I don't care if you got a fucking little chode. I don't care if you have a vagina. Okay? If you can do the job, you should be there to do the job. I don't care what your sex is, what your gender is, since apparently those two things are separate. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I don't care if you have fucking 3 eyes. I don't care if I just don't care about anything about you other than you doing the job. Now, here's what I'll say about Rachel Balkovec. It's not that I don't like her. It's not that I think she's not good at her job, because I haven't followed her enough to give a fair assessment. She tweeted something that was a huge red flag
today.
No, last year.
Oh, right. I remember this.
And she talked about how it's stupid for baseball players. And to those of you watching or listening, I don't know if you remember this or saw this, but she tweeted that it's stupid for hitters in baseball to do tee work or to focus too much on tee work, because it's a stationary ball and they're, really have to get used to hitting 90 mile per hour, 100 mile per hour pitches. And then she compared it to a golfer not hitting balls at 90 miles an hour and only hitting it off a tee. And I appreciate her trying there, but to me, it was a huge red flag. Being someone who's been played the game for so long, been around so many people who know the fundamentals of the game and so on and so forth. Tee work is one of the most important things a hitter can do. Now, it doesn't make you a great hitter. It's not like you can just be great hitting off the tee and then you come up to the major leagues and you're fucking hitting 20 home runs, right off the bat. It's that baseball is the reason why golfers don't fucking hit 90 mile per hour balls getting thrown at them is because they don't have to ever experience that. So why would they ever do it? Now, in baseball, they do. And people will say, and it's argued, and I think it's a pretty fucking fair argument, that hitting a baseball is the most difficult thing you can do. So how do you adjust? How could you ever work on your fundamentals and mechanics with a ball coming at you 100 miles an hour that you really can't even fucking see? And the answer to that is T work, because being a good hitter means muscle memory. It means being able to come through the ball, whether it's on the inside part of the plate or the outside part of the plate. Secondary swings, getting your hands through the ball. So when you do T work, you're not just standing in front of a tee. It's not like T-ball. It's not like when I coach my fucking 4-year-old son in T-ball and I just put the tee there and I tell them to fucking close their eyes and swing. Like that's not what T work is. When you do T work, you're adjusting the height of the ball, you're adjusting inside, outside parts of the plate, and you're teaching your body, your muscle memory here, where your hands need to be coming through the ball at every different spot of the strike zone.
Now, do you think keep going.
I was just going to say, and if you can't get that part down, you sure as hell aren't going up there and hitting 100-mile-per-hour pitch.
What do you think about using a tee for this kind of modern approach toward hitting, where they're not taught necessarily on a grand level to come down on it, but rather swing with that upper?
Well, it's a good point you make, because it kind of just goes back to, you know how like a lot of things in life right now just seem to have like a narrative behind it. And it's like, people will run with the narrative so much. It like in this case, you would never sit there and be like, yeah, people are conspiring to just get rid of the whole hands through the ball thing, and they want everyone to lift the ball. Actually, if you really start thinking about it, Major League Baseball wants more home runs, right? Maybe this is a push. Maybe this is some type of push. I don't know. Me and Francis talked about this on one of the live shows for NYY News.
Yeah.
I think it was the New Year's Day episode. Forever come down through the ball. Never. Look, the second you're trying to get under the ball, you're dropping your back shoulder. You're doing all the things that you never want to do. So I just never understood it. But you could be right here, where it's like so many different fundamentals are just not important anymore. That maybe this is just part of the whole fucking plan. It's like, fuck T work. Just get up there and try and fucking hit the ball in the air, and that's it. So maybe. But it doesn't change the fact that you still have to learn how to hit that ball, whether you're coming down on it or getting under it. That you have to learn how to hit it on the upper outside part of the plate, lower inside part of the plate, secondary swings, which no one talks about. A secondary swing, for those who aren't familiar with the term, is, you're in a 1-2, 0-2 count as a hitter. You're in a curveball, changeup count, off speed count, and you're just looking to get something over the plate. And you see that curveball coming in and it looks like a fastball, and you start to commit to it. A good hitter has a secondary swing where he will maybe a little too late to see that it's not a fastball, but he's still good enough, has enough muscle memory to keep his hands back long enough to where he's coming kind of forward, but he still stays through the ball. I mean, all those things are only mastered by doing T work.
Yeah.
So sorry to go off on a tangent, but
no, I mean, look, that's something that's one of the things that we know about her, as far as, her history with the Yankees, and her take on things. But like, if you look at her experience in baseball, then, if you're looking at the resume alone, she is deserving of a chance. I don't know if, you would, and I'm not saying you said she wasn't, but, who knows if she would be in this position right now, if, I don't know, but look at her. If you look at her resume here, she started in 2012 as a St. Louis Cardinals minor league strength and conditioning coach. So she's been around for about 10 years now. Then she went to Houston as the Latin American strength and conditioning coordinator. Also, she was the first woman to hold that position. Then she moved on to the same role with the AA Houston affiliate before taking that position as the Yankees minor league hitting coach, and now the Tampa Tarpons manager.
And so here's what I say to all that. My story and my personal take on her does not translate into me thinking she's undeserving of being the hitting coach when she was, being undeserving of, being the manager of the Tarpons, or it doesn't even mean that I think she's bad at her job. It was just a red flag to say, I'm someone who doesn't know her history. I haven't been there to see how she instructs the team. Everything I've heard, the players love her, that she's great at what she does. So that's,
what the key that we got to do then, we got to get her on the pod. That's got to be the, we got to hit her with that.
Not to spoil too much, but I have talked to her. I have talked to her. I've gone back and forth with her. No, you didn't shut off. You're good.
All right, we're good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got it. You got to talk about muscle memory. SGR always fucks with his headphones, and we got these new headsets now. But and there's a button there that kicks him off the show.
I totally clicked it too.
I have talked with her, and I promise you, if we get her on the show, I will say everything that I just said, because I'm not a fucking little bitch. So I'm gonna say it to her. But anyway, I at the end of the day, I don't have an opinion of her as far as her credibility, as far as her understanding of the game. I'm sure she's deserving of it. I'm sure she's a great hitting coach, and I'm sure she'll be a great manager. But in the society we live in today, you can't sit here and just think for a second, is this a promotion because it was well-deserved, which I hope, and I'd say it absolutely could.
That's what I was going to say before, but I kind of I got scared.
You got a little scared.
You do, yeah. You have to think about that.
Or is it that
I don't think it is. I don't
either. I
think she has a resume.
I got to say, the Yankees, out of all the organizations, are the one team so far that I've seen that truly don't give in to all the political bullshit that goes around in our society. I don't ever think a woman should not get a job just because she's a woman. Again, I couldn't care less what the fuck you have down there. Just do your job. And if you can do that job and you deserve the promotion, then Rachel, congratulations. I think it's a fucking awesome accomplishment, because as much as I don't believe all the bullshit that goes around and the political narratives on feminism and sexism and all that shit, at the end of the day, it is true that, of course, a woman's going to have a tougher job doing something that only men have done for years, not because she's a woman, but because it's tough to prove yourself when you are trying to accomplish something that only men have done, teaching men that have done this their whole lives. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if she's deserving of the job. I want her there, and I hope nothing for the best for her. But it's something that you do have to bring up. It's something that you do have to think about, and you hope for, not for our sake, not for the Tarpon's sake, you hope for fucking Rachel's sake that she deserves it, because it's just as fucking sexist, in my opinion, to hire women just because they're women. Like,
you preach.
I mean, honestly. And then it's like,
I agree.
Just because you're a woman, fuck that. No, she fucking deserves it. She's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
she's
had the experience. I mean,
so that's all. I mean, and again, we went from talking about assistant hitting coach, who gives a fuck, to manager of the Tampa Tarpons, who gives a fuck.
Are they even they're the Tarpons still? I feel like they had like a fan vote or something. I don't know.
Well, someone suggested, what was the tweet? That they should be the Tampa Tampons?
No.
I'm pretty sure that was the tweet.
Oh yeah, that's great.
But like,
Doctor, go vouch yourself.
That's so good. It's such a good.
How long did that take?
Doctor, go vouch yourself. I got to be honest with you, dude. I remembered one Fauci clip when he was talking about if you question the science, if you question Dr. Fauci, you're questioning the science. Wear your mask, right? And I knew he referred to himself in the third person, so I went right to that clip. I found all of it except for yourself. The yourself part took me 4 hours. My kids were trying to get me to build things with them. I fucking ignored them, and I put that drop together. 2-second drop. Took me 4 hours. Worth it.
Funny.
Worth every hour.
Yeah, totally.
Again, there's just not much to talk about. I figured we can close up the show quickly. just to discuss the lockout that we're still in. I haven't been up to date on news. I've been really bad. I got to starting this week. I'm going to really try and get back into it. Have you seen anything that we can be optimistic about?
Optimistic about? No, I can't say that. If anything, this would be the opposite of optimism. Remember how we were talking about that luxury tax number that was being thrown around as high as $250 million, right?
260, we said.
260, even up to there. Well, Hassan reported yesterday or sometime earlier this week
another cuck.
Big cuck, that Major League Baseball is presenting a $214 million luxury tax that will go up $2 million every year by, I think, 2025. Maybe it'll be at $220 million.
But this wouldn't go into effect
until the next
year.
CBA. No, yes, it would be once the season starts.
Oh, okay. So that's why we talked about the Yankees waiting for all of this, because they probably had some insight into this being a big deal and possibly handcuffing them even more. I mean, it doesn't take away the fact that the Yankees are still fucking scumbags for holding back. After all these years now, we just need a World Series team. Nothing should stop you. It doesn't matter if the tax is at 250, 260, 200, 214. I don't care. You surpass it if you have to do whatever it takes to build. But I mean, that's a drastic difference. Like, what are the Yankees at now?
Like 210.
So
maybe a little above it right now.
Like,
but this would be for all of Major League Baseball, right? So this would be throughout baseball. That would be the threshold for every team.
So again, you're better with this shit than I am when when it comes to luxury tax. So how does it work now? Like, here's a good way to put it. Tell me what the Pittsburgh Pirates luxury tax is right now or last year.
0.
Like,
there was the key is, Chris, that you won't get hit. You get taxed, right? If your spending goes over a certain number, a threshold, which last season the threshold was $210 million. If your yearly spending goes over $210 million, then you will be taxed for every dollar you go over that threshold. So say the Yankees budget last year, salaries went up to $220 million. That would have meant they went $10 million over that luxury tax. They would have had to pay a $10 million fine pretty much throughout all of baseball, a percentage of that number. It wouldn't be all 10 million. It would, for the Yankees last year, since they were at that peak threshold, it would have been a 50% hit. Now, the fact that they stayed under that number, okay, now if they go over the threshold this year, it would only be a 20% hit. So there's a big drop off of how much you're going to be penalized, which is why they wanted to stay under that number, where now if they do go over, they won't really take too big of a hit.
Understood. But my point is,
still pennies to these guys.
I'm just trying to pull it up real quick.
And draft picks too. You get docked some picks.
My point is, it was never a flat rate luxury tax. It was based off of your payroll. No,
it was flat rate, like a cap.
Oh,
like
it always was.
Yeah. I don't know when they started doing it.
No,
but it was never really.
For the last handful of years, I'm saying it's been a flat rate luxury tax.
Yes.
Okay. Then who cares? I mean, honestly. So they're just looking to reset it.
Yes. Yeah. So MLB's most recent proposal had the collective bargaining, the threshold starting at 214 million in 2022, and then progressing up to 220 million.
What was it last season?
210. So it's 210 in 21, and then it would go to 220 by 2026, which would be a 4.8% increase, which really isn't that great.
So what was?
So now look at this here. Let me keep reading this here. So the last time we had the new CBA was, I think 2003 was this one. It increased by 98.6%. It was introduced in 1997. This threshold.
It's based on revenue, correct?
Yes, it's based on league revenue.
Okay, so they were expecting the luxury tax threshold to jump so much because of the incoming revenue.
Yeah, that I don't know. I think they were just like kind of like, we want to make more money probably, so we think you should follow a higher salary cap than this.
Because if it
I don't know.
wasn't, if like the way I would do it is based off your, I guess that doesn't make sense either. I don't know. I mean,
Okay, so yeah, the 2007 CBA, it went from, it was 189 million up to that point, and then it jumped up to 210 million by this year.
Well,
So that was an
I mean,
11.1% bump. Then they only want to go up by about 5% for this next one. So I mean, that's clearly a starting point. I'm sure that they'll find some sort of common ground, but I don't know, man. It's getting a bit weary here that they're not going to start on time, because apparently Passan's reporting that they're not even going to resume talks until late January.
it's crazy. I mean, if you really think about it, in the beginning, we were just like, yeah, they'll work it out. It'll probably be difficult, but they'll work it out. They'll definitely be there for spring training. And as each week passes, you know, you got to ask yourself, when do we start to get to a point where we're saying the season might not start on time? And you said this right away, and I wholeheartedly agreed with you. After the COVID year, MLB and all sports took such a big hit. You would think that the mindsets of the players and the owners and everyone would just be like, look, I know there's a lot to hash out, but one goal we have to make is we need to get the season started on time, because it does nothing but hurt all of us if we're going to go through another short season this quickly after that. And it's just like, no one cares. Maybe there's just too much money floating around where they just truly don't care. And
look, that's fair. That's a big part of it there, Chris, is that this league is there. There's a lot of players making a lot of money. The rosters are deep.
You have an awful commissioner. You have an awful commissioner.
Terribly run league. But then, you know, they showed their cards with the COVID negotiations. It was really the only sport of the major ones that had true difficulties in figuring out and hashing out a way to play, right? Can you really think of any other sports that it was kind of difficult? I mean, NFL maybe had a few.
No, but the baseball season was
in
the only one that wasn't in the thick of it. So
wasn't right. Yeah, it didn't get started.
For the other leagues, it didn't seem
like football
had
just ended, though. Football had just ended.
That's true. But I'd say baseball had the shortest amount of turnaround time.
And if you would say, and then the one that maybe football did have some hiccups, but not like baseball, though. Baseball, it was really like, I don't think they're going to play.
Yeah.
And not even because of COVID.
You know, I was thinking back, someone mentioned, I was listening to someone, they were talking about the Georgia voting shit and all the political bullshit that went on in Georgia. And then they reminded me that the commissioner pulled the All-Star game from Atlanta. And it just, I guess in the moment when it's happening, you're just kind of like, yeah, I mean, this is what our country is now. Just everything is polluted with politics and all that. But being a little more removed from it, I was 10 times more disgusted that Manfred felt necessary to allow political nonsense to get in the way and remove millions of dollars for small business owners, for the economy in Atlanta. Like what he did.
That All-Star games generate a lot of profit for those local.
I could be wrong, and if you're watching you're in the chats and want to take the time to correct me, I'm pretty sure it was around, they were expecting $60 million of revenue to be made for that All-Star weekend from people just coming there, staying in hotels, you know, buying food.
How much did you say?
I said 60 million.
Oh yeah.
Was it 34 million? It was,
just forget it.
So it was either 34 or 60 million. It was, those two numbers are popping up in my head. Regardless, could be more, could be less. It just disgusted me, and it made me really think about how bad Manfred really is, and how this whole like switching the balls, juice balls, not juice. it's so believable because this guy is such a fucking hack that it's not debatable. He is the worst thing that could have ever come to Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, Ken Rosenthal fired because he was speaking out against him.
Crazy.
Which now, did you see the Athletic was purchased by the New York Times, which is where Ken Rosenthal works.
He works for the Athletic.
Yeah, well, now it's the New York Times Athletic.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's like 355 million, I think they bought it for, or something. Or 35 million, something. I'm gonna look that up because it's a big. I know it's got a.
You know what I was you know,
$550 million. Jesus Christ.
You know what I just wondered? How is the commissioner hired? Who hires the commissioner?
The owners, I think.
Oh, really? It's like a.
Yeah, I believe it's well, the whole position of commissioner was created when? Do you remember? We had a little talk about this during an old podcast. When was the position and why was the position created? I'll give you clues. It's all about, I always use the word, the MLB is so obsessed with this word, and it's the word integrity.
After
it was because something damaged the integrity of the game.
Yeah. It had to have been after the White Sox scandal.
Very good. 1919 was when the commissioner's position was created.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I believe it was the owners coming together and selecting.
Yeah, well, guess what? You want to hate, a lot of people want to hate the owners. That's a good reason to hate them. If they looked at this guy and their judgment of his character was that he's good for the integrity of the game, you got it way wrong.
Well,
you
the
got
owners,
it fucking way wrong.
You know, you could say then, do the owners pick their commissioner the same way that the Yankees pick their manager, where it's kind of like a puppet almost, where they can have a guy? It seems that way because he certainly has been Major League Baseball's puppet. You're going to fire a guy. You're going to get a guy fired that was outwardly speaking against you. Then, I mean, come on, dude.
Do you think the Braves use that whole All-Star game thing? Because remember how bad they were in the first half? Do you think they use that as like, look, we need to fucking do something for this city. And we're going to, and the only way to make this up is to fucking say, fuck you to Manfred and make it to the World Series so that this city can not only make back that money, but probably threefold at that point. Do you think that was motivation?
Well, absolutely. And what would have been great is they were a game away from winning in Atlanta. And when you win, the commissioner presents the commissioner's trophy.
He would have gotten.
But they ended up winning on the road.
I actually remember in that moment praying that they would win it at home just for that.
Yeah.
Just for that. That'd have been like a Roger Goodell moment where whenever that guy speaks in front of a crowd, he just gets booed.
Yeah, like at the draft or so. Wait, who did they beat? The Astros? Yeah, right? Astros?
Yeah. Astros. Yeah, Astros?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of remember McCullers pitching.
Yeah.
Having a good game.
Who cares? It wasn't the Yankees.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that's really all I got. Look, it's a fucking lockout. We got to get creative. We got to talk about shit that maybe people don't even want to talk about. But, yeah, I mean, follow, if you're on Twitter, follow us at NYYST_podcast. Follow, at NyynewsTV. What's your fucking handle? You change your name all the time on there. I think you're at StatGuyRye_NYYST. I'm at Chris Jr. _YST. It's all, you're watching this. It's all right there.
Yeah.
It's all right there. At Christian_NYYST. It's over there. It's over there. All right. So that's it for me. If you got anything left.
No, I think they'll hire an assistant hitting coach by next week.
Yeah. So I really hope they do.
Little news.
It's imperative. It's imperative.
Yeah, get it over with. Hire someone.
You hire an assistant hitting coach because he will take you to the promised land. I promise.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't win a World Series without a good assistant hitting coach.
Absolutely. And the assistant to the assistant hitting coach is a phenomenal job as well.
And I will be taking the assistant to the assistant hitting coach job.
All right. So thanks for listening to episode 264. Be sure to tune in to all the other shows on this network. If you're listening to us, head over to YouTube, NYYNewsTV, subscribe, like, all that good shit. And we'll be back next week. SGR.
Go Yanks.
Chris.
Say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
I'll let you do.
Yeah.
before it hits the front page.